Just quickly warming up. Yes.
Here for the magic touch? You have any problems, you bring her back to me.
That wasn't very good. Oh. Just exactly too early. If I just had waited like a few milliseconds or something like that, almost. Not really, but like less than a half a second, and I would have made that. But it was almost a perfect drift. Oh, alright.
If you've crushed my big whaler,
Oh shit.
brings you in today? All patched up.
Oh, shit. Jesus Christ. That car just came out of nowhere and my car just got launched. Oh, yeah, okay. A bit slippery. I mean, I think this car is gonna be a pretty good competitive car against viewers. I hope when I get some viewers on the stream that want to participate, I hope at least that that this car is gonna be competitive against them, because it's a rally builder. It's not it's not a super lowered car. It's a kind of rally build. Also, just the car itself isn't really low. So overall, even if you lowered it, which I maybe think my car is actually lowered, I think, but even when it's lowered, it isn't that much lowered. It's kind of a rally car, and it's also how I built it. Kind of like designed to look like a oh shit, didn't watch the road. Kind of like designed to look like a rally car, and it performs like a rally car, kinda. I mean, it has good acceleration, good top speed for a sports car, and with the higher suspension, I should be pretty good at off-road if I had to quickly do off-road. I know a spot right down here where something like that could come in handy. Right, both actually, two spots. Right here, if you want to go down, or down to the if you want to go down to the interstate, or whatever you call it, and if you want to go up to the main part of the city again. And also here is a good example of off-road, where my car should have an advantage with higher suspension compared to sports cars that would probably just fly up in the sky because of the lowered suspension. mean, I'm just very lucky to that the car that was randomly chosen by a random number generator was this car. That's very lucky. It could have been like some of the NPC cars. I do have a lot of NPC cars, so it could just been very slow NPC car. Of course it would be tuned, all of them is fully upgraded, but still, fully upgraded NPC car is still pretty slow. Whoa. But I'm just gonna stop talking and focus on warming up until some viewers get into the stream. I hope I'm gonna have some viewers today. I mean, I only have 8 subscribers, and plus most people wouldn't click on this video because manhunt isn't really, there isn't really that many people who likes manhunt or who even knows what manhunt is. So I just hope I'm gonna get a few viewers like the car meet that I did for some time ago. I think it's probably gonna be around here that the town ends, because then you can go here and up here. So that's like the outermost place you can go away from the city. That's the longest away from the city you can go. On this side at least. On the other side it's it's out to the ocean, so you can go to the harbor. The harbor is still a part of the city in this manhunt. Yeah, it would be too big if we had the whole map. Even with 29 players, it would still be just too big. But let's see if I can get some viewers in the stream, and hopefully one day we will be able to do streams like these where we can do manhunts with a full lobby. That would be very cool. Also, it isn't really for me at least. It isn't really it isn't really a competition. It's not really hard for me to win if it's just a few people. Like, you have to be like 20 or about. You have to be up in the 20 numbers where it's gonna be extremely difficult, which is what I want. I want it to be very competitive, where I just if I don't do well, if I just crash once or something like that, I'm pretty much screwed. I want it to be like that, but
What's wrong with her now?
I'm not gonna. I'm not expecting to lose in this stream, because in this stream I'm not expecting there to be any more than a few viewers. I'm not expecting more than just a few viewers, and a few viewers to compete against isn't really an issue unless they're like godly drivers with the best cars in the game. Because I'm pretty good at driving myself compared to most people in GTA, and I also have a pretty competitive car. It's overall pretty good with good handling. Good handling. It has good acceleration and good top speed for a sports car at least. And it's only 15 minutes that I have to survive, so 15 minutes isn't really that much to ask. I mean, 50 minutes, that when you think about that, I either have to be immobile and or my engine is totally destroyed without them using any weapons and just ramming me, and even it's ramming me without using rocket boosted cars. So with just a few people, it's not that hard to survive in 15 minutes. And if it was like a full lobby, it would be very hard to survive in 15 minutes. At least that's what I'm expecting. I can't really know because I have never tried it, but I mean, I can just kind of like figure it out. I mean, it's just logical that with 29 people against you, and with people that probably have better cars than you, it's gonna be hard to survive in 15 minutes without being immobile or the engine being totally destroyed at one point. Oh, yeah, okay, a little too late. I'm kind of like beginning to get bored, because I'm just by myself, talking to myself. No, there's no one watching it, so I'm just talking to myself, driving by myself, kind of boring. There is nothing in the manhunt. You kind of get a thrill. It's adrenaline rush because it's very frustrating. It's kind of like it's a very immersing, adrenaline-inducing experience when you know that you have some people after you, and most likely it's someone with faster cars, and that it's like against all odds. That's the fun part of it. But I'm just warming up, driving around without any purpose but to drive around. So it's not exactly fun. But let's just hope that soon someone will join the stream. Oh, that always happens. Of course, there's always a car that comes out of nowhere that I couldn't see at any point, except at last second, where it's literally impossible to do anything unless you can travel back in time. Oh, yeah, okay. That was my fault, but I mean, it's understandable if you crash in that circumstance where if you could see it, if you could see the car and it before it hit you, not just the last second, but maybe but see it in maybe like a second or two, and it would be alright. But it was like right in front of me, a split second before I hit it. Yeah, okay. I think also that one of the very big things that very big advantages with this car that makes this very competitive in the manhunt is that the amount of grip and the amount of traction this has, the amount of road grip you have with this car. It doesn't just slide. It has a lot of traction. And that's very important at this time of the year because of the snow, of course. Because there's a lot of cars that can't really turn at all in the snow. One of them being the F1 cars, which is one of the fastest overall cars. You're allowed to use F1 cars in this event, in this manhunt, but because that the fact that F1 cars has so bad traction on the snow that it pretty much can't turn, it's not very viable of an option. If you choose an F1 car, you have to be very good at driving on snow before it's worth it. I think off-road trucks and just big trucks and overall is pretty good, but also it's not necessarily the best choice to go with trucks and off-road vehicles overall, because even though they do have good traction on that, and their big trucks is also very good at immobilizing and just destroying overall destroying cars, which is the objective is to destroy my car or immobilize me, which trucks are very good at it. But despite being very good at that and also being very good on snow, just the fact that the acceleration and top speed is lower in cars like sports cars and supercars really pulls it back, which also it makes it more tactical, because you do get more power on your blow. So if you hit someone, it does do more damage, plus it does drive easily. It drives much more easily on the snow. In a sports car or supercar, it has more traction, but it lacks in speed and acceleration, which my car is so fast it doesn't really have a problem with grip, and it's at the same time it's much faster and much quicker than in a big off-road car. So the off-road cars will have a bigger a bigger impact on me if they hit me, and they'll have better chances of not of catching up to me in the way that they won't slip. But at the same time, they will still have a lesser chance of catching me in the way of the acceleration and top speed, which really make I mean, I think it's quite fair. I mean, it's a fair trade-off. More damage plus more traction equals minus acceleration and top speed. It would be just overpowered in manhunt if you had all the aspects of driving. If you had all the aspects of driving, the damage output, the manhunt, if you had the best damage output, the best acceleration, best top speed, plus best grip, that would just be way too overpowered, and pretty much whoever had that car couldn't lose. Unless they're a bad driver, but I mean, that's an aspect by itself, being a good driver, so yes. Yeah, okay. Of course, it's gonna turn right in front of me. They can't really see me. I mean, any normal person would have seen my car speeding through the city and wouldn't have done the turn. But the NPCs, they don't give a shit if they damage your car. They don't give a shit if they die in the crash themselves. They just want to make your life hell. That's like the only thing that the NPCs are here for. It's making the player's life a living hell.
Here for the magic touch?
But that's just GTA in a nutshell.
Good to go.
Alright. I'll just quickly park up. I think I've done enough of driving for now until I'm just gonna take a break. Oh, I didn't know I had a crowbar and baseball bat. Last time I checked, I didn't have any of those weapons, but maybe I've unlocked them somehow. I got them for free. I don't know. I'm just gonna quickly look at the engine. I mean, it's one of the best engines in GTA, in my opinion. I think a lot of people feel the same. I just like the engines in general, even the old engines in GTA, where the engines big and small. I just love engines and cars, and just love all aspects of cars, any kind of car, off-road, rally, SUV, race car, normal car, clean car. I mean, I don't like most clean cars. I don't really like, because clean cars tend to be what I wouldn't call clean, because in my opinion, bright pink shouldn't be clean. That shouldn't be some clean. Should be, I mean, clean. That should just be a what? In my opinion, clean should just be someone just texted something in the chat. A Russian who just put a link to something that I don't want. But clean, I think clean should be more like just a regular color. Clean should just be a realistic regular color, a color that a vehicle is actually gonna have in real life. Because the bright pink is never gonna be in any normal car. Of course, there is gonna be someone with a bright pink, but it's not gonna be in any normal car. I mean, all the people in GTA who does like clean builds, I'm 90% sure of that almost all of them wouldn't use that color in real life. It's just because they want to be called clean, because clean is apparently just ugly, bright colors that is just laughable overall. I mean, I don't see the problem with normal colors. A normal, just the very basic, completely basic normal white and red and blue and black. And I don't see what the problem with that is. For some reason they seem to have a problem with normal colored cars. At least many of them have a kind of a problem with that, and needs to have a like a special color, because clean cars, pretty much, this is what I think clean cars is like. That people with clean cars, I think the reason why they need like a special color is so they can have some kind of personality. That they need personality for the car, because most clean car people, car lovers, or whatever you want to call them, car guys, most of them usually goes for not fully stock, that much, but most of the time they have a lot of stock parts. Because pretty much anything except the stock isn't clean. It's very rare that GTA has something that isn't clean, that isn't stock. That is clean, that isn't stock. Sorry. And the problem with that, and also that comes just that's up to what clean as definition is. That isn't really GTA's fault. It's just because of those who invented clean cars decided that specific kind of cars kind of looks isn't clean, which it's not like GTA. It's not GTA's fault. They just made different parts that you can choose, but pretty much because they have almost a completely stock car, they instead of getting custom, sometimes they get like tuna wing or something, but instead of getting really customizing the car overall, they need something to be custom. So instead of the normal parts, they choose to customize the color, and they need the color to be special, and pretty much so pretty much it ends up being everything is stock except the color, which is a custom crew color that 90% of the time looks like someone just threw up on it. And no offense to clean car guys, it can look good sometimes, but it rarely does. I mean, really, I don't know how the fuck you can look at a bright pink car, or then like it's the one of the most used clean clean colors is like a bright pink, like very bright pink, and it's so stupidly ugly. I mean, it's almost unbearable to watch. Okay, another Russian just put in another link to a website. I mean, they're not even watching the stream. They're literally putting in links in the chat without watching the stream. There isn't anyone watching. It's literally the only one that's watching is myself, so I can check the comments. They're literally putting in links without watching the stream. I mean, except maybe you can do. I don't know if you can put like in links. I don't know if it works like that. If that because there is a delay before it says that someone is watching. But maybe that's why. Wait. Is that also a link that he just put in?
Oh, hello. I can't deal with another day.
I think it's a link, so I'm just gonna delete it. I don't want any sketchy websites on my stream from Russians or just anywhere. But it's mostly Russians. I've dealt in previous videos. This is the live stream, but in also some of my other videos, I've seen Russian letters. So I'm just guessing it's a Russian because it's Russian letters. Where they commented with a link to some kind of website that I don't want, because I don't want anyone of my viewers to click on that link and then they get screwed over somehow. But I don't know how long I've been streaming, but it's getting... I'm just gonna quickly... Okay, 53 minutes. I think I'm gonna be streaming maybe 2 hours at the like top 2 hours, top 2 hours. Just said 5, but my brain stopped working. But so maybe maybe an hour more, but it seems like I'm not gonna have any viewers today, so it's just gonna be me talking to myself while driving around, warming up for nothing, pretty much. Unless in the next hour, hopefully soon, because if it's in an hour, if it's in an hour, it's gonna be like in the end of the stream. So hopefully very soon, very I mean, as soon as possible, there's gonna be someone is gonna join. But I doubt it. I mean, if the first hour didn't work out, it's most likely not gonna happen the second hour. I mean, it could, but I'm just a very small streamer, and the chance of anyone clicking on this, I mean, if it was a commie like last live stream, I did have a lot of like, not a lot, but a few views, like 5. I think at one point it was 5 views. So it did have some, and it didn't take an hour to get the first viewer. But you also have to consider that it was in the description, or not in the description, sorry. the video's name, you could see it was a car meet, and also just overall car meets are very popular in GTA. There's a lot of guys who joins car meets all the time, so the chance of someone, and there's always someone like searching it, and my video would be one of the videos that came up when you search it. So, but there isn't really that many who plays manhunt. It isn't a popular game. The only really manhunt videos you see is like from the big YouTubers that already have a bunch of subscribers. Yeah. But I could just say that this video is actually inspired by a YouTuber called Mighty. If you don't know if any of you know them, anyone who's watching after the stream, or but there's a YouTuber called Mighty, and I think it's Mighty. Actually, I can just quickly find it. But pretty much. Wait, quickly. Yeah, Mighty. Big. It's capital C, A R, capital M I G H T Y. Pretty much just Mighty in one word with capital C and capital M. You should look him up. It's a very good YouTuber, and pretty much it's just a most of his YouTube channel is about cars, pretty much, and most of it is about BeamNG Drive, which is a PC game if you don't know that. But BeamNG Drive, where he sometimes he does manhunt, or at least I don't know if they call it a manhunt in his videos, but pretty much he makes his friends. It's pretty much the same as I'm trying to do with my views. He makes his friends chase him, and he has 15 minutes, just like it's supposed to be in this video, and he chases them around. Or they chase him around. Sorry, he doesn't chase them around. They chase him around, and sometimes it's actually sometimes it's 15 minutes. Sometimes it's he has to be visit different places on the map, and I think it's always him he's always the one who's chased, who's the hunted one, and they usually have like a guy in a helicopter watching over, and a few guys in cars, and he's pretty much at least it seems like he's the best driver of the team of guys, which is probably also why he's the hunted every video. Maybe also because it's his channel, but I mean, it could also be because of it seems like he's the best one, because even though they're like 3 against 1 or 4 against 1, he just easily outmaneuvers them. But it's not like any of his friends are bad drivers, so I mean, it's not like that. None of them is really a bad driver in BeamNG Drive, but yeah, pretty much it's inspired by that, but in GTA. So I'm pretty much Mighty in this case, and the viewers are the friends. But I still don't have any viewers yet. The only thing I've had is links to sketchy websites from Russians that didn't even watch the stream. I mean, they didn't even say that they watched the stream. So I'm just gonna, oh shit, bit too much speed. I'm just gonna assume that they didn't watch the stream. That maybe it's like bots. I don't know if you can have bots that just goes into live streams and videos and puts links to sketchy websites. Maybe you can. I don't know. Um, oh. Actually, I'm just gonna quickly gonna go get something to eat. I can just quickly write on in the chat on a little mm, Okay, I'm back. I just got something to eat, and I'll just continue driving and talking to myself. I hope no one joined while I was out grabbing some food, because if there were, they have that means that they left while I was away. So, oh, but yes, just gonna drive, just keep driving. Oh, and just an alarm. Oh. Ah, almost perfect time. It's always like almost perfect, but not quite perfect. That's always how it ends up. I'm always just a bit too late, a bit too early. Not always, of course. There is some times where I do it perfect, but most time, like 2/3 of the time, it's one of those twos. So you could say maybe it's like 1/3 of the time it's too early, 1/3 of the time it's too late, and third of the time it's just perfect. And there's no one in between. It's not. There's no one. There's no. It's never okay. It's either it's too late, it's too early, or it's perfect. But it's never just a okay kind of like. It's never a just okay one. It's never. It's either it's failing or it's perfect. It's never in between. And the failing, it either fails by being too late or being too early. I'm not really serious when I say that it's always perfect and I would do it right, but I mean, you could have guessed that, so. Because of course it's not gonna be perfect every time I do it right, and be almost perfect every time I don't do it right, but I mean 99% of the time when I do it wrong, it's not a total failure. It's just 99% of the time it's just a few meters at most from being where it should be. You could really see that this snow is annoying, because I just crashed I just crashed in that pole, even though I turned, because of the snow is so slippery that even if you do turn, sometimes it just keeps on going forward, while it would normally haven't. While normally it would have turned. And that's it. I think normally it would have turned at least enough so I wouldn't hit it normally, but with the snow, even if it has like kind of off-road tires, I think it's off-road tires. I don't think it's muscle. I think it's off-road. But even though it has that, still with the snow, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why it hit the pole. I think without the snow, it wouldn't have hit that pole. So, oh, I just quickly, I looked away from the screen in 1 second, less than 1 second, and I crashed. Yeah, okay. That wasn't the snow. That was my fault. I just I was too late on the brakes. I had too much speed. That was just purely my fault. But still alone. Yeah. Well, yeah. If no one's gonna join soon, I'm just gonna have to end the stream. Disappointed. I mean, it's sad to stop the stream before anyone joins, and it's sad to not be able to do the manhunts that I wanted to, because it's very fun if you have enough people, but if you don't even have one more than yourself, it's impossible. I mean, the bare minimum is 2 players, 1 hunter and 1 hunted. You can't hunt yourself. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. If you hunt yourself, and there's no risk in hunting yourself, because you can't hunt yourself, so there isn't really a risk. So if we can't even get the bare minimum of 2 players, we'll just gonna have to stop the stream before. I'll just have to stop the stream before we can get started. I mean, it's disappointing, but it's the reality. The reality of this is just that that if I can't, you know, I just can't. But I'll just quickly check how long I've been streaming. Because maybe if let's say I did say that I'm gonna be streaming for 2 hours tops, but if I do get like someone, the first viewer joining like the last second before, I'm just gonna say screw it and just keep on going. If it's like the last 10 minutes or something like that, where but yeah, 76 minutes. It's 1 hour and 16 minutes, so I mean, just 1 hour and 16 minutes being just completely alone, talking to myself. That's a new level of load. It's a new level of low for me. I mean, it's not even fun for me anymore. And normally I thrive being alone. I mean, I can be alone and have much fun, but I mean, even I have my limits, and I can't. Even I'm beginning to be bored. It's just perfect now. Now I also have to despawn and respawn my vehicle, so that's just perfect. Yeah, punch that car, punch that Ferrari. Or should I say Ferrari, because that's how you're supposed to say it. The Italians, they don't say Ferrari, they say Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. It's not a Ferrari, it's a Ferrari. And it's a Lamborghini. It's not a Lamborghini, it's a Lamborghini. I mean, it's actually how it is actually Lamborghini and not Lamborghini, because there's a lot of people who does say like Lamborghini, where it's like Lamborghini, but it's Lamborghini. There's it isn't. I mean, also Ferrari. It's not a Ferrari. It's a Ferrari. But yeah, I think Ferrari does fit better in English. In English, when you're talking English, you should still say Ferrari, in my opinion, because it's literally of course it's gonna be pronounced differently in different countries, because that's literally how it works. That's how you pronounce it in English. It's not like it's not wrong in English to say it, because it's literally how you pronounce it in English. The English word for Ferrari, which is still it's spelled the same way, but the English word for Ferrari is pronounced differently. So when you're talking English, you should still say Ferrari, because you could kind of say I see it more like it's a different word. It's an English word. It's spelled the English word for Ferrari, kind of like it's the Italian and the English word for Ferrari, where it's spelled the same in every country, but it's pronounced differently, because and it's kind of like a word. Different words in different countries are different. Even though even some countries spell the same, some countries spell the same word the same way, but pronounce it differently, because it's in their language a different word. It means the same, but it's pronounced differently. And then I see names of cars kind of like that. So, of course, the original, you could say that it's the original way of spelling. It's the Italian and original and maybe authentic way of saying it. But in talking English, the English way is Ferrari and Lamborghini. I mean Lamborghini. Lamborghini. I think that's how you say the English. Lamborghini. Yeah, I think Lamborghini. It's in Lamborghini. It's kind of the same in English. I mean, it's not all in English. It's not always Lamborghini, like with. Sometimes it is it's pronounced like Lamborghini. I think maybe also thus I think Lamborghini is also some people does say Lamborghini, I think, which is like at that point I think it's too. I think Lamborghini is that's over the line I have. I have kind of a line where it's respectable to say it. It's respectable to say Lamborghini, like with Lamborghini or something. Maybe not like that, but the reason I'm saying like that is just to bring attention to that they say it like bore, but of course they don't say it that slowly. They say Lamborghini, but like they don't say Lamborghini because no one really says that, but when you say Lamborghini, I think that's completely wrong, and that should that no one should pronounce it like that. But also I think like Subaru, I think it's supposed to be said Subaru, like they say it quickly, Subaru, Subaru. So it's not but we in English they tend to pronounce it tends to pronounce it longer, so it's Subaru, Subaru, but which is like it's they're stretching the vowels, but in but I think it's really supposed to be Subaru, and you kind of pronounce the A as a it's kind of begins to sound like the A is a U. The A becomes like the U almost. I mean, not really, but sometimes it sounds like that because they say it so quickly that you can't really hear that the A is that the A isn't a U. So Subaru, because they do say Subaru, but because you say it so quickly, it begins to sound like the U. So it begins to sound like Subaru. But yeah, just a little thing that I noticed, and I think also Datsun is like Datsun. If I'm not wrong, it's like Datsun, really. It's not Datsun originally, of course. In English, it would still pronounce it Datsun. Datsun, sorry, not Datsun. Datsun. It would pronounce Datsun in English, but I think it's Datisan or Datisun. Originally, and Nissan. There's you kind of also Nissan. It's not really that much noticeable, but also Nissan is stretched out a little more in English. It's Nissan in Japanese, and but in English you more kind of you usually say it more like Nissan. So you stretch out the I. But when you were talking about pronunciation, I should that makes me I mean, now that we're talking about pronunciation, I'm just gonna quickly announce that I'm gonna be in the future doing more pronunciation videos. Oh, I can hear like fireworks. There's some people who does fire some fireworks before it's before New Year's. Before New Year, there's always sometimes even at the summer, even summertime. Sometimes there's rarely occasions where you hear like fireworks because, and it's not even legal. Of course, I mean, I don't know if it's different from every country, but at least my country, it's only legal in New Year. In New Year's Eve, that's the only time you can fire fireworks. Maybe I think you could probably also do it at the like maybe late at, maybe it doesn't have to be exactly Eve. Maybe like in the middle of the day, maybe you could still fire fireworks, but in New Year's Eve at least, that's pretty much at least pretty much the only time you can do it, and at least the only day you could do it is the last day in the year, which is New Year's. So in my country, and of course it can be different in other countries. I don't know, maybe it's different in your country. Maybe you could write it in the comments what you do in your country, but what the rules are. I'm quickly just gonna see how long the stream has been going on now, because I'm kind of okay. 88 minutes, so yeah. Almost 1.5 hours. Almost 1.5 hours. So about 30 minutes, maybe like 32 minutes or 31 minutes or something like that, and I'll stop the stream unless someone joins. Then I may be gonna prolong the stream, but it's getting I'm getting tired. It's getting boring. I'm getting tired talking to myself and driving around without. I mean, I'm not gonna be bored, of course, if I have a purpose, but just it's not really the driving, but the fact that I'm driving without a purpose, that I'm just driving to drive. And it can be fun. Of course it's fun to drive, just to drive. But when you don't have a purpose, you can't really drive. And you don't have a purpose for driving. It kind of gets boring after a while of driving. That's why I love racing. That's why, and also why racing. I can keep on doing races much longer than just driving around, because in racing I have a goal, which is to win, and the way I win is to be the fastest one. So I have a purpose, I have a goal, which makes it entertaining, it makes it fun.
All patched up.
It's not just boring like this. Here it's boring because I don't have a purpose. I'm just driving. My purpose is to warm up, but I've already warmed up more than enough. I've driven around this car. I've been driving around this car for 1.5 hours, and that's more than enough to warm up. I've been driving around so much that my purpose of warming up is already complete, and I have no purpose anymore. But I'm just gonna keep on driving, because if someone joins, I don't wanna, you know, lose my grip, or whatever they call it. Not like literally lose my grip, but figuratively. But because if I warm up and I stop, just wait for an hour maybe, and then after an hour I go again, all that warm up doesn't apply anymore, because I just and I would have to warm up again. So until I'm just gonna drive around until someone joins, and I can get this started, because the warm up only makes sense if I've warmed up right before, because if I take a 1 hour break, or it doesn't have to be 1 hour, it could be less than that, but if I take a break, that means that I'm gonna lose my focus, I'm gonna lose my, yeah, pretty much lose my focus. That's a way, that's a good way to say it, to express it. I'm gonna lose my focus, I'm gonna lose my concentration, and I won't be able to perform as intended, because my intention is to perform good because I've warmed up. So that by warming up, I'm gonna perform better. But if I'm not warm anymore, if I cool off, as I call it, I call it cool off, and you warm up, and when you haven't warmed up, I call it that you're cold, and that's what, because you call it warm up, so it only makes sense that when you haven't warmed up, you're cold. So pretty much that's pretty much yeah, when you haven't warmed up, you're cold. When you warm up, and you're warm, and but you take a break. If you stop warming up for and wait some time, maybe like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that, after you've warmed up, you've lost your warmth and you've become cold again, and you have to warm up again to become warm. Pretty much that's pretty much what I'm trying to say, which. So that's a problem. So until I mean, of course, so until someone joins, I'm gonna have to warm up, and then someone joins, I can stop warming up, because then I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait. When instead of warming up, I instead stop warming up and then start the game itself, which will make me drive, but with purpose. Like, but instead of driving to warm up as the purpose, I'm driving to. Oh, that was a good drift. Instead of driving to warm up, I'm driving to not crash and not get run into by other players, not getting caught and not getting stuck, and pretty much survive for 50 minutes. So that's what. So pretty much the same as warming up, except the purpose isn't warming up, but just to survive the hunt. So, oh, I didn't see that. I think it blended quite well. It blended in quite well, so it was very hard to see. But yes. But this live stream will be the last one video overall I will be making, at least in GTA, until the snow is gone away, because a lot of the things I want to do, especially, and this really especially counts in the races, is that it can't really be done while there's snow, because driving races, like competitive races, is just a nightmare with snow. I mean, this one has like okay, good grip, so this isn't really a problem. But I mean, I can't really show my tracks in the snow. At least I can, but it won't be as good. It won't be able to perform my tracks as well with the snow, because it's just gonna be too slippery. So I'm gonna wait till the snow is gone before I do race videos or pretty much any kind of GTA videos after this one. Oh, I only had one hand on the controller, so that's why you didn't see me brake. I had to move my hand from because I had my hand on my sofa, because I was checking. I had my phone in my hand, and yeah, you can kind of see like the dilemma that when you have and you're holding your phone, uh, half concentrating on it, and using your hand that you break with on that phone, and the other hand is pulling down the speeder. And that pretty much that dilemma just you can kind of like see where I'm going. Like I'm going full speed with my one hand, my going full speed with my right hand, and my left hand that I used to brake is away from the controller and holding a phone. And yeah, you can kind of see like the reaction time is gonna be slower because I have to drop my phone. Of course I can't drop my I'm holding it on the sofa, so yeah, I guess I was dropping the phone, but yeah, and take my hand on the steering wheel and pull the brake. But yeah, just over I'm just over complicating things. I should just stop saying anything. I'm just kind of I'm kind of like just making excuses for why I didn't. I mean, it's the truth, but still, I mean, I'm pretty much just excusing myself for hitting a car. I mean, it's not like it's gonna make me look like a bad driver because I've been driving so much and doing so well so far that the pretty much doesn't really matter. But yeah. I think this car is beautiful. Obviously, it's beautiful. It's my own car. I wouldn't make a car that I think is ugly. I wouldn't make my cars look ugly, in my opinion, at least. But I mean, still, it doesn't mean that it's beautiful necessarily. I mean, maybe it looks good, but that doesn't. Not all my cars is necessarily beautiful. Also, this one is beautiful, but I mean, overall, most highly customizable cars is beautiful in my opinion. I mean, pretty much every car that I own is in the rank of beautiful, if you could call it a rank. Yes, these are all pretty new cars that I bought after I bought the building here. So I've been very busy buying and customizing cars. I've been saving up and all a bunch of money, and yes, beautiful Ferrari, the GT 500. In GTA it's called that. It's not called that in real life as far as I know. And the Aspo, that's beautiful with race livery, of course. I love race liveries, of course. And the Viant, very underrated. Pretty much all of these cars that I have here is underrated cars that I rarely see. I'm participating in a lot of. I'm participating in like a lot of car meets all the time. Like sometimes I'm like in 5 car meets sometimes in the same day. Not at the same time because that's not possible. But yeah, unless of course you have 5 PS4s or slash PC slash Xbox. So yes, but pretty much uh, all of these cars pretty much is at least I think is underrated. Uh, I never see them really. What I mean pretty much is that I never see them in any comics, which I mean pretty much any car in GTA is underrated. And you look at that, if you, and you look like you look at it, look at underrated cars as cars that you don't see at all, or at least rarely see in uh, comics. That's pretty much all cars, because in comics it's like only a few cars and everyone just uses that same few cars, and it's very boring. I mean, of course there are different builds, but still it's the same car and you can't really change that much with the same car. It's not a really original idea. I mean, it's not very an original idea to use the car that everyone else is using. Right now, of course, right now a lot of the cars that you see is the new contract DLC cars. So, and I do have 3 of the new contract DLC cars, but I mean, that doesn't mean that that's the only one I'm using. I'm using less the DLC cars than all in most cars. I mean, I've actually been using this a lot because I love the engine sound and also I love the look. But yes, this is also beautiful, bright orange color, and this one like a rally build again, a rally race build, and this race build with a sprunk livery, and this one didn't have it. Sorry. Ugh. This one doesn't have that much customization, but it still looks pretty good. And I can't remember if it had custom plates, but I don't think it had, because I would have normally like changed it to black. So the reason why it's white is probably because it didn't have black ones that you could choose. You probably couldn't change the plate. And this is a Russian car. It's a Lada. I don't know if it's called Lada in English. No, in my language it's called a Lada, but I, I think Lada is it sounds like the English way we should say it. And also this Mercedes. Yeah. I know also that the Defiant that you saw down there is I think it's the Defiant it's based on, and Lamborghini, sorry, Lambo. It's Lamborghini. It's in English. It's Lamborghini, but in Italian, at least the Italian way is Lamborghini. Mamma mia. Sorry. Yeah, I. Yes. The GP1 and the Penumbra FF. But the only 3 ones I have from the new one is the Sino and the Cinque Mille, if I'm saying it correctly, and the Ignis. That's the 3 cars that I liked from the new DLC. And then I'm talking about the ones I like. I'm also counting the ones that isn't released, because I've also checked out the ones that are going to be released in the future, in the DLC future. But yeah, pretty much that's the 3 only cars that I want to buy. at least from now on, from the new DLC. Also, I have one more car that I bought recently. If I can just put the coordinates. It's in my auto shop. My auto shop has the last car. I'm also planning on buying some more cars in the future, but for now I'm just gonna stick with what I have, because I mean I can't really do anything except that. I mean, I could grind some more, but I don't really want to grind right now.
Whoa! Jesus!
Right now I just want to enjoy what I have. Always just sometimes you just want to stop up and enjoy what you have, instead of like grinders. They just grind because they want to grind. And also sometimes they pretty much, most of the things that grinders usually buy out of the money they've grinded is just things that helps them grind even more money. So they spend money to gain money. They spend money to in a way. They spend money on things that will improve making money. So it will make so they can make money faster. But when they have but pretty much they don't spend any money on anything else but grinding. So it's kind of like, it's just, they pretty much just grind for the enjoyment of seeing the money count go up. They just want to get the money count or the level count or something. Maybe, I mean, I think most grinders is it's about the money count. I don't think there's that many grinders that really cares about the level that much. But so most grinders is, I think it's more like the money. So they just want to have the highest amount of money as they can, and it's pretty much just to see that money count go up, because that's the whole enjoyment. Pretty much that's the only reason they grind, is to see the money count go up, which I think is like one of the worst reasons to grind. I mean, it's understandable to grind if you want to buy something. If you want to grind to get money to buy something that you're gonna enjoy, of course, that's a good reason. But grinding just to grind, just grinding just to have, just to say that you have half a billion GTA dollars, grinding just to say that you're the richest player in the game, or grinding just to overall just to see the money count go up. Grinding just because of that isn't a good reason to grind. That's the worst reason you could ever come up with. But of course, I mean, of course, it's a good idea that if you want something in GTA that's expensive, and you need the money to get in, and it's something you're going to enjoy. I mean, of course, you want to grind to get it, unless of course you want to buy money in GTA, which is also an option, and it's completely fine to use money in real life to get things in GTA. I mean, there shouldn't, I mean, if you want to grind, that's okay, but it's also okay if you want to just buy them. That's pretty much the easy way. That's the expensive and easy way, and there is the inexpensive and hard way. Grinding, that takes time, and also when you thing that I feel like when you wanna if you don't know if you wanna grind or wanna buy shark cards, I think you should think about this. I think there is like different factors, but the main factors is that you have to think to yourself, You have to think to yourself, what am I willing to give, sacrifice, and all that. Do I want the easy way, which is to buy shortcuts? It's easier to buy shortcuts, uh, but it may be, and grinding is harder, but it's more expensive to buy shortcuts and grinding, which is free, at least in real life money, not in GTA money, because you can lose money, at least in heists. In Caprigo, you spend money to gain money, because you have to spend money to be able to set it up. I think it's 25 grand every Caprigo. Also, but it's less about the money you spend on grinding and the money you don't spend on grinding. It's less about that, but the time you spend. Because grinding, it doesn't cost really any money. You can do it for free in real life money, and you almost have no worries in GTA money, because you don't really have to spend that much money to grind money in GTA. But it's expensive in time, which is a very big factor. That's one of the most important factors, in my opinion, because also that's one of the most obvious questions. Also, you want to think to yourself, do I want to pay the price? Not so much about the money. Of course, you want, and you think about shortcuts. You want to think about, when do I want to pay the money price, and in your grind you want to think about, do I want to pay the time price? Because when you grind, if you want to if you choose to grind to get money to buy something, let's say I have a wish list of a few cars that I want and that I'm gonna enjoy very much in the long time future driving around in. If I want those, and I have either two choices. I have grinding and I have shortcuts. There is two main things that I want to consider. The one thing is for grinding, and the one thing is for shortcuts. And shortcuts, it's do I want to spend the am I ready, or do I want to spend the money on it? Am I willing to spend money on it? And I mean, so it's more. So what are you willing to spend money? Is cars not important enough to spend money? And if you don't have a problem with that, you can just buy shortcuts, which is also an easier way to get money. But also, when you're talking about grinding, you have to think, am I willing to spend time on this? Because grinding it takes longer time. It takes a lot of time. It doesn't take real life money, but it takes a lot of time. And time, you could kind of say it takes money, because time is kind of money. That time you could have made money in real life, maybe. In that time you spend on grinding, you could maybe have made real life money in your job, maybe. But so time is kind of like money, like they say. But it is kind of like spending money, but just time. But yeah, pretty much, do I want to spend that time? And the big trigger, and the big thing is that about time is that the fact that you use some of your time, if you choose to grind, that the fact that you choose to spend so much time on grinding, that means that you have that much time you spend on grinding less to enjoy the game. Grinding, because grinding, if you want to buy something, grinding means business. It's not, if you want to grind is business. Either business by getting money to buy something, or just getting money because you want to get money. But grinding is business. It isn't really. I wouldn't say that it's grinding. It if you just do it because you think the missions is fun, then it isn't really grinding for me. I think grinding wouldn't be that. Grinding would be. I mean, grinding would be if it's business. If you want, if you're making money, spending time to make money, like for business, for something you want, either just having a bunch of money or having something that costs money. And all the time that you use on grinding is less time on enjoying the game itself. And business grinding isn't enjoyment. I mean, if you grind to get money, even then the grinding itself wouldn't be enjoyment. The enjoyment would be that getting the money. If you grind to get as much money as possible, then getting the money would be the enjoyment, but not the grinding. So even then, it wouldn't be the grinding itself. So, what I'm more talking about, grinding where you want to buy something, but pretty much yes. You have to kind of weigh it out. What is more meaningful to me? Is my money more meaningful than my time? What can I sacrifice? Can I sacrifice money or can I sacrifice time to get it? And it's different from who you ask what they choose, but most likely they'll choose grinding because yeah, most people doesn't want to spend money, but instead they'll spend time. So, yes. But in grinding, and it's especially the case if you already have, and also that the thing is that if you took two subjects that wanted the same car, so it costs the same, they need the same money. Let's say it's let's say that it's this one. It costs like 2.3, I think, million. And let's say so one guy wants to grind it, one guy wants to buy it with real money. That you spend the guy who spends real money, he of course loses real money. His sacrifice is in money. He sacrifices a small amount of money to get it right away. The grinder, he sacrifices maybe an hour or two to get it. Of course, it's not long, but that's a few hours that he could have spent on driving it and enjoying it and having fun with it. So the guy who bought it with real life money, he had a little extra time to enjoy it, and also yeah, that's pretty much what you want to do. So yeah, pretty much just I think there's nothing wrong with grinding. There's nothing wrong with buying shark cards. I mean, it's pretty normal it's pretty normal for gamers to spend money on add-ons, on all different kind of extra add-ons in games. I mean, pretty much every gamer has at some point in one game bought something extra bonus stuff for the game, and pretty much buying money in GTA is just pretty much an add-on. It's like buying an add-on, maybe an add-on map on Call of Duty. It's kind of like that. And especially for me it would be like that, because if let's say I bought a shark card and bought a new car, that would be like buying a new car would be like buying a new map or buying a new weapon. It's a whole new experience. It's I can play the game differently. It's every car is different So it's kind of like it's a whole new experience in that car, because it's every different car has kind of a whole new experience. So that's also how I kind of keep this game fresh for me, so I don't get bored. That I get I get new cars from time to time. I don't. I get I get a lot of new cars, and sometimes I use some of my cars I haven't used in a while, and that's how I keep this game fresh and don't get burned out. I don't get those burnouts. Of course, maybe some point I'm gonna take a break from GTA, but I've been playing GTA non-stop for a long time without getting bored. And there's also other things, of course, like sometimes I make races, and I can make it like a new race, and that's a new experience. That's something new and exciting, and that's the same with the car. But yeah, pretty much time. Grinding takes your time. It takes some of the time you could spend enjoying the car. So if you grind instead of buying shortcuts, that means just that you don't sacrifice money, which I mean that's a good thing. But instead you sacrifice time, which is also a bad thing, just like money, because that's time that you sacrifice you could have used on enjoying the car and driving around it and having fun if you have just bought the shortcut. So yeah, but pretty much that's what I'm thinking about. And if I want to grind or I want to buy shortcuts, I buy sometimes shortcuts. I'm not embarrassed by buying shortcuts, because I mean, it's just an add-on. It's the exact same as pretty much every other game has. I mean, there's so many games that has extra add-ons, and it's pretty much the same as money. And pretty much in GTA extra money is pretty much an add-on that you don't need. It's an add-on that you can earn through hard. I mean, most add-ons, most DLC weapons and in shooter games, most add-ons overall is like a thing that you have to buy. In GTA, pretty much it is pretty much an add-on where you don't have to get the add-on. You can get it without buying it, but it just takes a lot of dedication and hard work to get it without buying it. And buying it is pretty much just you will exchange money for the easy option. Exchange money for quickly getting it instead of having spent. So pretty much what you do is that you spend money on saving time. You save time by spending money and making also I think the experience and grinding the experience more. I think also one thing is that a small part is also that you're grinding the experience. Kind of the experience is a lot, but you get you can kind of be proud of yourself. I mean, of course, you can still be proud of yourself if you buy shortcuts, but I think grinding, that the reason a lot of people chooses grinding is also because when you buy something, you really feel like you earned it, because even though shortcuts is your own money that you've earned, so you still use something, the money you've earned. Still, grinding maybe feels like you've more earned it than if you just bought it. So yeah, but I think it's been 2 hours at least. Yeah, over 2 hours. I'm just gonna stop the stream now. No one joined, sadly. Hopefully, next time I'll have someone joining. Maybe it's because it's like beginning to be late. I don't know. It depends, of course, on which country you're from, but it's at least in my country it's very late, and I think most countries it's beginning to be late. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's more successful in the middle of the day. I don't know. But yeah, pretty much just I'm gonna end the stream now.